engine. What was your primary source that you used?
FBI.
Okay. Was FBI statistics showing that?
Yes.
No, it's not. You're lying.
Yes, it is.
No. Okay. Just the
Yes,
very
it
fact
is.
that you're lying. Listen, man, I'm not gonna have a serious conversation with you if we're gonna make up stats. Okay. So I think you
Okay.
learned. I think you learned your lesson. Number one, don't lie because I'm going to call you out. And secondly, let's not generalize an entire group of people based
Well,
on
what? So you love Mexicans, bro?
something that you might see on the TV or something like that. So
You have Mexican
their
supporter?
overall point is you said you want to make America safer. Okay, you're saying that immigrants make, or specifically undocumented immigrants make America less safe. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Viral shush.
I want all the illegals.
You're not answering my question. You're saying that you want America to be safer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you insinuating that sending all the undocumented immigrants back will make America safer?
Yes.
Okay. How do you know
Because they're the only one who's doing the crimes.
Really?
They leave. Yes.
Sky, are you white?
I'm black.
Be honest. I'm just asking. Cause Doug, are you white?
I'm white.
Are you
I'm black.
cis?
I am cis, yeah.
Okay, well, Sky, we can't believe you because clearly you have an issue with lying. But if you want to make this country safer, what are you going
You
to do
can't
about
believe I'm
all the
black?
cis hetero white men who go around committing mass pew-pewings?
Okay, you act like white people are the only one who does that.
Well,
Well,
Black people do it
statistically,
too.
statistically, you can look at white, hetero, cis men and find that statistically they are out here committing mass pew-pewings. So you want to talk about making this country safer from, say, rugs and the cartel when we have a massive problem in this country with pew-pew control,
Wait, are you
don't we?
white?
I sure am. You can see me in my picture because I'm not afraid to put my face on the camera
Okay, so
or in my profile
why are
pic.
you supporting the Mexicans, bro? You're white.
First of all, I work at a Hispanic Serving Institute, so I'm going to support my students and their families.
Yo,
Why
I
are
feel
you
sorry for
laughing?
you,
They're out
bro.
here getting an education. Isn't that what you people want?
hey
Don't
guys,
you
Yeah, I
want
do.
them to be
20
members of society?
guys,
Yeah, but they
20,000
could
likes.
do it in their
20,000
country,
likes. We're
not
gonna
in
move to a new
America.
guest. 20,000 likes. Now go ahead. Now go ahead and respond to her.
See, I don't know why you people want to support these people. These people do not like you. These Mexicans don't like you, bro. I don't
Sweetie,
know
did I
why.
just not tell you that I work at a Hispanic Serving Institute where I get semesterly recommendations from students to other students that they should take me? My course evals and my rate my professor also speak very highly of me. And these are also, again, with the Hispanic Serving Institute, 25% or more of your students is what gets you classified as an HSA or HSI, by the way. So I'm pretty good with my Hispanic community that I live near and that I teach.
Hey man,
Huh.
guest, can I show you
You
something?
sound like you
Okay.
have a problem with it.
Guest,
Yeah, I
can I
do.
show you something? Here, check this out, man. So this is data from the Cato Institute showing that undocumented immigrants actually commit less crime, like as a percentage, right? That's called per capita, than U.S. born citizens do. Right. So here's the data, and again, this is from the Cato Institute, which is actually a conservative leaning institute. So as you can see, the bottom line there is or are the undocumented immigrants, and I'll pull that up so you can see it better. Here. So see how it says U.S. born citizen with the triangle, undocumented with the diamond, and undocumented with the circle. Undocumented is at the bottom. They have less arrest rates per 100,000, right? And then if we go down, these are violent crime offending rates as well by citizen slash documentation status, and this is from 2012 to 2018, by the way. So this isn't just looking at a small span, right? And also, once again, we see undocumented immigrants there at the bottom. So I'm not saying that there's zero that commit crime. Of course, there's going to be some, but actually, as a percentage, they commit less. So believe it or not, if you take out the group that commits the least amount of violence per capita, that actually causes the U.S. to have a higher violence per capita, just by basic math.
Well, of course they're not gonna be the most dangerous because there's more white people than
I said as a
Mexicans in
percentage.
America.
That's why I said as a percentage.
Somebody doesn't know how percentages work.
All right. So what I show you, let me show you again. This is a per capita, man. So this is like a per 100,000, which means it's a percent. Okay. So that's not a valid excuse. Okay.
Yeah, this is obviously a fake source. This
You
can't be
haven't
trusted.
provided any sources, so if anything, your trust me, bro, is a fake source. You're fake.
Yeah.
You're a
Why don't
phony.
Why
You're
don't you
pseudo.
provide a source? Yeah, you provide a source then. I provided one. You don't like it, so you call it fake. That's typical MAGA. Why don't you provide a source?
See, I would, but
But you
my
can't.
computer,
But you
my
can't,
computer is dead.
buddy. Guys, 20,000
I
like
would, but my computer is
20,000
dead. I
likes,
would
new
show you a
guest.
source right there.
Oh, your computer's dead? You can
Yeah.
teacup, my dear, with the phone in your hand because it's like a tiny computer.
It is.
Go for it. See, look at that. Now he's going to teacup and he's going
like
to go
it.
find some source. We'll see if it's legit or not.
I have very little faith in that it's going to be a legit source, but we'll see.
Same.
Remember, guys,
you, Doug?
Good, yeah, I'm hanging in there. Yeah, no. 20,000 likes, guys. We're going to move to a new guest, okay? So if you guys want a new one, just tap a little bit quicker, of course. If you are enjoying the live, there's a red follow button on the top left. Please do follow that. Give Alex a follow, and make sure you guys all send in your heart me. It's up there in the top left as well. Oh, we already hit our lightning bolt goal. You guys are great.
Dang, that was fast. Is he in Texas? Dang.
Yeah.
Oh, he ran. What happened?
Hell yeah, guys. Thank you to both of you. All right, well, we'll get to a new guest. Let me just set up this new goal pretty quickly. Give me 1 second. We're going to make it the Rosa one. I'm going to go back to that, and we'll get to whoever's in the box, okay? And guys, my pay links are in my bio if you want to show some support. It does allow me to do these lives more. However, it's not needed, not expected, or anything like that. You can simply just tap and share to show support and comment, all that fun stuff. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, Doug. How are you?
Good. How old are you? I know we
I'm
spoke before.
21.
You just got to. What's the age?
21.
All right, cool. What's up?
I get used a bunch of incels. Yeah, I'm not an incel, but
Oh, all right. Well, you convinced me.
fragile. Well, I was trying to come up and see why you would think most people who support MAGA are incels.
Yeah, it's just a jumping off point, just to kind of get a conversation going. You don't have to take it so literally. I mean, you can if you
No,
want,
you're good,
but
Douglas. I really appreciate your honesty. You're a pretty cool stand-up guy. Unlike a lot of people I've talked to, you're a lot more, I would say, responsible and a lot more kind. So I appreciate that. But on to the topic.
What year were you born?
2004.
Okay, just want to make sure. All right, so what do you want to talk about today? I don't remember what we spoke about yesterday, to be honest. So.
Nah, I don't even remember either, honestly. But let's talk about America, or like
well,
I was like, sorry, like America. Let's actually go back to incels. Like, why do you feel that
God
Trump?
damn, you're fixated on that one.
Why do you believe that people who support Trump don't like women, or aren't able to get women?
Well, let's just go with the overall thing of that they don't like women. I think they don't respect bodily autonomy when it comes to women. I think they don't respect. I think so. Number one, there is a wage gap between the two genders, which I can show you that. I don't think Republican/conservative policies allow to fix that. I think they further divide that gap. So I'd say with bodily autonomy and the wage gap, I would say that harms women.
Don't forget they're actively harming education at the moment with the whole taking away of certain titles or jobs as professions, nursing, education, physical therapy. These are all typically dominated by women, and now they're going to have difficulty going to school for those things because they can't take out as much in student loans as, say, other professions that are dominated by men.
Okay, so then what would you propose to fix to this? And if that was the case, why wouldn't a company hire only women if they knew that they can get away with paying them less?
What was that?
Why wouldn't they only hire women if they knew they can get away with paying them less?
So that's not how it works. It's not that they're paying them less, like by any like conscious means whatsoever, right? It's just that on average, women do get paid less less per dollar than men do, right? So it's illegal to flat out do that, but there are indirect ways in which they can do so. So I can show you the data here real quickly. Give me 1 second.
Well, I agree with the data. It's just saying, why are they paid less? Like, do they not work as much? They're pregnant, they can leave more, they get sick more often, most likely they ask for a raise. So, like, all these are also factors that we should take into account. If they're annoying.
They take
If
into
they're pregnant,
account.
you can't fire them, by the way.
Yeah,
They're
I didn't say you can
protected
fire
group.
them.
So this is taken into account hours and jobs. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to put this on screen. Guys, keep tapping, sharing. Remember, we're looking for opposition. We can get to a new one at 50,000 likes, assuming we have someone in the request box. All right, I don't know if you guys can see the
Yeah, 50,000
screen too
guys. Tap it up,
much.
tap it up.
Here, let me make
Yeah, I
this a
see
little
it, I see
bigger.
it. But again, that doesn't really change my point. So, like, again,
Well, it does. It
why would
does.
we
So
pay
I'm going to read
less?
through it. So this equates for hours. This equates for the job as well. So this idea that has to do with that women work less or they work different jobs. No, this is per field, right? So if we look at production, they get paid less. If we look at construction and extraction, sales and related, office administrative, etc., healthcare, legal, management, architecture and engineering, the green line is men, the blue is women. So on average, women get paid 83.6 cents on the dollar compared to men. There's studies actually shown where people have the same exact resume, same exact everything. One has what would be considered like more of like a name that you associate with a man and a name that you associate with a woman. The one that was associated with men still get chosen more than women. Right, so there's inherent biases within the hiring of them that allows for this to happen. Right,
Yeah, so then,
I don't think it's conscious for most of them, at least. I think a lot of it is inherent biases, inherent things that are built within the system of it.
yeah, so how would you then combat that if it's something interpersonal? By that logic, you should say that every employer who discriminated against someone's race should be fired, but you can never really just sit there and prove that it was because of that or it wasn't.
What do you mean?
You can't really prove discrimination. You can just say this is a factor that we believe can contribute, but you
Right.
can always say they weren't qualified. Yeah, so again, so how would you even solve that? You're just pointing out an issue that you see that's not even quote unquote an issue. You're just seeing a pattern.
Well,
That'd be like
It
me.
is an issue. Women earn on an average 85% of what men earn, and it's
They're not
been
forced
like
to
this
work.
for. Yes, we are. You can't live in this type of society or economy, for that matter, without two incomes. It's
Wait, so
very, very difficult to live in wherever you live without two incomes.
wait, I have a question. So how can immigrants who come off the boat, come to America, work jobs? How come they can live, but Americans can't? We can speak English better than they can. We have more
Okay,
opportunities.
first of all, why are you pivoting? We're not even talking about immigrants. We were talking about the gender pay gap.
Yeah, I should clarify that. You're right. So I'm not trying to pivot. I'm trying to say people who have no understanding of American culture come here and outperform us. How? So
First of
it's
all,
possible.
America's culture is the fact that we are a melting pot and we are a series of different cultures that have
Yes.
literally blended together.
Yes.
We don't have just what you're talking about, because I can tell what you're talking about. You're talking about white culture,
No.
which, if anything, shows us that white culture from that greasy-haired, white, flabby man singing last night was nothing compared to Bad Bunny's. But
Well, it's
anyways,
not
I
culture.
digress, because you can do that too. Let's go back to the gender pay gap that we were just talking about. You can pivot to immigrants once we finish this topic. You keep asking things like, well, why do women have to work in the first place? And I explained it to you, and then you pivoted.
No, so what I was trying to say is that people can come here, they can live while not having as good of a grasp as most Americans. I use immigrants as an example because when they come, they're usually not as well versed in English, and that's fine. That's nothing against them. I'm just saying they have a harder hand and they're still able to maximize that. How come American women cannot? And to my other point, you aren't forced to work. You're just not going to like the conditions that you have if you don't. You can be homeless, you're not going to unalive, but it's going to be a lot more miserable than if you did. So again, you're not forced to work. But you
So
can.
your idea is just go be homeless?
No, we just work harder or work two jobs.
but
I have
this
worked
is
2 jobs in my life, by the way. Thank you very much.
but
I really doubt you have, darling. You sound like you're barely out of high school. And again, why do I, as a woman, have to work harder when, number one, I'm really good at my freaking job. I just came from my performance review, satisfactory across the board. And I work just as hard as my male counterparts, but probably actually harder because I also have what's called invisible labor, a
Which
lot, or
is
unpaid. Well, let's see, the fact that I take care of a child and my house and my family, and I can definitely talk to my male counterparts who have also wives that take care of that aspect. So they're only focused on their job and research. I have to focus on my job, my research, my kid, my home. So yeah, I actually do more work.
okay. So
Just some of it's not paid for.
to
but
clear that
this
claim again. So
you're
hold on.
go ahead.
Go on, Doug. Sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
But what you're saying over here is kind of highlighting my point that I think people who vote Republican don't typically care about women, or at least nearly as much as they do men, because you seem to be giving excuses for this rather than saying, "Hey, this is an issue. We should fix it." So I think you're highlighting my main point.
Well, no, because she just said if she's doing so exemplary, if she's doing so good, why wouldn't she get a raise? She go to her boss going, "Hey, I perform so good across the board. How come we can't discuss a raise? I'm proving to you
I
that I'm
did, by the
valuable."
way. I have a
Would you?
continuing contract, which is like tenure, and I also did get a promotion, by the
Okay, so
way.
there you
So I
go.
do these things. However, I'm also doing more work, and we don't get like, raises the same way that somebody else at another job would. College is a little bit different. You have to put in a certain amount of time, etc. But I also know that I'm going to my meetings. I'm doing all the extra professional development while my male counterparts, for the most part, are just kind of sitting there and waiting for me and my other colleagues who are women to do the work. And this happens a lot in academia, by the way, as
Okay.
well as probably a lot of other professions. So again, why are we trying to pivot to immigrants? Why can't you just say, hey, you know what? If you do work this hard, you should be paid for it. But you keep making it like this mystery. It's not a mystery. You're voting for these types of men who are implementing things like cutting funding, for cutting student loan for those types of jobs that these women want to go into. So again, what Doug said, you did kind of make his point about
Wait, so
prompt.
I can I can see where Doug's coming from, but I want to clarify. To my point, what I'm trying to say is so a few things. I'll come back to your invisible labor point, but I want to talk about where you're currently standing. If you felt that your employee or your coworkers are taking credit for work you did, bring that up to your boss. Again,
I
it sounds like a
do.
very okay. Yeah, there you go. Sounds like a very interpersonal issue. And to your point about invisible labor, the man does the same in a traditional household. The man can
But they
protect the
don't.
family. Hold on. So maybe because you don't live in a traditional family, but like for me and my girlfriend, she cooks for me, she cleans for me, I also take care of the house, I protect her. If someone says something slick to her in
You
public, I'm
protect
gonna be
her.
the one who stands up for her, and I'm gonna be the one who takes the fall because that's my woman. I'm not gonna expect her to
Wait,
do that.
are
But the
you
same way,
comparing? Are you comparing standing up for your woman to what a single mother probably does after she gets off of work?
oh, single mother is different, no, because now she's single. But you said you take care of a kid, you do that. But okay, but
I
the husband should also
do.
take care
I
of the
literally
house.
made him dinner and I'm sitting in front of my laptop working on fixing up some PowerPoints for my anatomy students. So I'm
Wait,
doing multiple things. And I do have a husband, by the way, who is my partner. There are a lot of women out there, and you can see them on this app, who will tell you the domestic labor is not shared equally.
then why does
It's
he
not.
pick up the slack? Hold on, for me,
I
I work
don't know.
more.
Go talk to your male counterparts. They're fucking
Wait,
don't
then
listen to me. I don't know. It's
then why does the one
go
put up
talk to
with
men
it?
in your life.
I mean, my man do. I have a homeboy. He's unemployed. He sells a woman. Why is that?
Where
She just loves
that's
him.
What is that? Okay, but still, you see what I'm saying though? You're not even acknowledging the fact that as a profession, I'm in a profession. I'm in academia. I have a professional job, and yet I still have to come home and do unpaid labor. I also do a lot of unpaid work over, say, weekends while my male counterparts are waiting on, hey, you did that? Can I try that? And I'm
Wait,
a
okay,
team player, so of course I'm going to give stuff out. But I am talking from my standpoint. It's different in all different areas where we still see for a fact that the pay gap still exists. It has
uh,
existed for a while now, and I have data from all the way up to 2024 that specifically states that women earned an average of 85% of what men earned. Why isn't it 100? Why aren't we equal?
Yeah, because they don't work as hard. I'm sorry to tell you. I can explain how, but that's the reason.
You say women don't work as hard?
Yeah, and I can explain how if you'd like. It sounds
Okay,
harsh, but when
Are
you
you in
understand it.
academia?
sure.
Did you go through how many years of college?
I did not go to
And
college, no. I
okay,
started my own business.
all right. So
again,
okay.
So,
Yeah.
guys, remember 50,000 likes. We're going to get to a new guys. We're looking for ops. If you
Keep
guys want to reach
tapping.
a gift goal, thank you. All right, so give
I
your
would say,
reason
yeah.
as to why women don't work as hard.
Yes, when we look at what women have to deal with and what they're most likely going to deal with, they're more likely to call off sick. They can get pregnant, so that's going to be a big impact on their work. We can see that.
No. You don't get to talk. You don't get to talk about pregnancy because you've never been pregnant and worked a full-time job. You don't get to comment on that without some kind of source because I'm here to tell you. Again, mine is anecdotal, but I'm sure we could look it up, or you could look it up since you made that claim. I worked up until the week before my child was due.
So,
why would you do that?
Because I didn't have maternity leave yet because I was part-time when my child was in my uterus.
Okay, so you then valued the work over taking care of your child because you said I can do both, and you're strong enough to manage them.
Sorry, Doug. I'm sorry to yell to everyone in the comments
No,
if
you're
you
fine.
guys have earbuds in, but that's disgusting. That was rude. You didn't need to bring up my kid as a way to make me a lesser parent.
No,
Don't
I'm
do
saying that
that.
makes you a greater parent. I apologize if it came off that way.
You just said you chose work.
Well,
Don't
no.
do that. Don't do that.
Let me
Don't
clarify.
do that.
Well, I'm not sitting here saying that you are weaker. I'm saying you said I can sit here and rest or I can work, but I have enough energy to do both so I can support my family in the future. So I'm going to suffer right now to endure that. I'm saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying that it's a slight against you. That's a good thing that you're working to support your family. And if you feel that your husband isn't putting the same domestic labor as you, you should talk to him about that, going, hey, this is what I do.
I don't
Here's what I
need
expect
marital
from you.
advice from you, my guy. I don't know you, but also, again, when women are pregnant, which you have never experienced and will never experience, by the way, a lot of us work up until our kid is due. Because
Right. They have to.
live
Many
in a
have to.
society
Yeah.
that yes, thank you, Doug. You have to now.
And I do want to say it's
Well,
actually
when we
quite the
look at it-
opposite that women don't work as hard. Research actually shows women actually are required to provide more evidence when it comes to giving it to their managers or whoever it is for the roles and stuff like that when it comes to like wanting a pay increase or having a different role within the community or within a job. There's actually more evidence that they need to do that rather than the opposite.
Yeah. So when
They have to put in more work. They have to provide more evidence to showcase what they need to do.
Yeah, so I mean that's also a very good point, but I'm also going to say hard work doesn't exactly equate to pay. Look at the Navy SEALs; they don't get paid a ton, but they're working insane amounts. Look at Hell Week. So again,
we're talking about per job though, but that's different though. That's
isn't that a job though?
I understand that, but the way that you get promoted within the military is very different than within a civilian workplace. I'm just showing you that data shows that women for promotions do need to work harder. They have to advocate for themselves more. They have to provide more evidence for themselves more when it comes to promotions and when it comes to pay raises.
That sounds like an issue with the employer than being biased, not with the.
But that's the exact point. That's the exact point, though.
Wait, thank you. What are you supposed to do about that?
Thank you. What's that?
What are you supposed then to do about that? How are you going to prove it?
Well, I mean, you just stated that it exists, right? I don't necessarily need to prove it in this conversation if you acknowledge that it exists.
No, you're fine. I'm saying that's a possibility, yeah, but then how would you enforce that? We agree that could be a problem, but then how would you enforce it?
I mean, there's probably a few things that you can do, but I think it's a long haul approach rather than something you could do in the short term. I think, I don't know, you can probably use some sort of like data to track promotion, salary metrics, to making hiring and pay decisions, make it more transparent if possible. But none of these things are specifically going to help it. I think there's things that need to be done within society that would help it rather than things necessarily within a workplace.
Okay, yeah, it's a very mature take. And like an example I would give, let's say I'm like the owner of a construction company and a guy's gonna come out and hire. And let's say he's like perfectly qualified, but let's say that he has like a monocle on and I think that's ugly. So I throw his application in the trash and I hire whoever's next. Just because of that, you can't really prove that. I can say, oh, he wasn't qualified, he didn't meet the fit, he wouldn't be a good team player, whatever reason I can make up. you're not going to be able to objectively prove it. So unless there's like hard evidence of it, you can always just roll it off and then not really have anything go from there. So I really like the take that you said, where you would have to tackle it at a societal level. But until
Right.
then, yeah, you're just fighting an uphill battle.
But
Hey,
I
Doug,
think
can I bring this back to politics real quick? Because
We are
I
in
found a
politics.
study from Pew Research, by the way, that says about 2/3 of Democrats and Democratic leaning independents, which was 68%, say a major factor behind wage differences is that employers treat women differently. But
for sure.
far fewer Republicans and Republican leaners, 30%, say the same. So again, if we want to bring this back to politics, we also have to incorporate the fact that Republicans are not talking about the gender pay gap. They won't talk about it. They barely talk about it. It's kind of a non-issue when they are campaigning for whatever political position they are.
Well, another question. So,
hold on, Thickless wanted to speak towards the wage gap thing a little bit.
I was going to
Go ahead,
say,
man.
I understand that doc that I sent you is in Markdown. I use Obsidian for all my shit, so that's probably why it's not the most read.
It was a little difficult to read, yeah.
Yeah, everything's in my. I use Obsidian for all my notes.
There you go.
Yeah, so much to what Professor and Doug have already said to you, our own numbers show that the wage gap exists. We can look at the numbers from 2022, 2023, 24, 25, all from the Bureau of Labor Statistics that show that the median weekly earnings of women ranges about $958 to men's $1,154. The ratio saw a slight improvement from about 83% to about 83.6% in 2024, but not much of an increase.
Okay, so look, by that logic, you can say a janitor and an executive. The janitor works a lot harder but gets paid a lot less. Should we pay the janitor more for his work?
You don't want my opinion on that matter.
Well, again, you're working as a janitor because the job is very easily replaceable, so we'll pay to the lowest common denominator.
Sorry.
You're good. But like, if I can pay,
I feel as though your entire argument here is, well, if organizations commit wage theft, why do they hire people in general? Like that's the argument you're making.
Well, no,
But
not wage theft.
you're comparing two different jobs, though. You're comparing two different jobs. I mean, we're talking about like inner job salary pay, right? We're not talking about between different jobs.
Even in the same job, do you not feel that someone's interpersonal effect has a big impact on whether the employer likes them or not? How they act, how they communicate, how they organize, what they come in with.
Whether or not my employer likes me as a person shouldn't impact what I'm paid.
Well, no, but it should.
I think it can, but it shouldn't, though.
Well, yeah, but look at reality.
We see managers, they absolutely unconsciously favor employees that of their own gender. So men typically tend to favor employees of their own gender, right? Which is part of the issue as well.
Well, it also could be according to causation. Maybe the women were more annoying because the men didn't like them, or maybe. Yeah,
let's not talk about correlation and causation when you haven't provided a single shred of evidence. And another claim with no evidence about women being annoying in their jobs. Like,
oh yeah, so
I'm pretty sure both genders can be just as annoying.
Wait, the
data and all the numbers, ominous, would actually speak differently, because we do know that, in most cases, when women are in positions of leadership, teams actually experience better cohesiveness because women actually display better levels of emotional maturity and emotional regulation than men do. It's the same reason why we see women who are police officers experience far fewer incidences where weapons have to be utilized than their male counterparts. Because again, women are much more likely to be able to assuage situations of hostility more than men are. So no, it would actually the numbers would actually indicate the opposite of what it is that you're saying.
So 50,000 likes, guys. New guest, 50,000 likes.
Yeah, well, you brought up a woman CEO. Can I just bring up one that my husband loves to talk about because he has a Chevy and he loves to talk about Mary Barra, who is the chair and CEO of GM. And by the way, she's been there since 2014, so she's been there for over a decade. And as early as 2026, GM is performing rather strongly, and they're looking into a little bit slower of an EV adoption, but they are definitely jumping on the electric vehicle bandwagon. And so she's been doing pretty good, and it looks like profit increase up to $2 billion in 2026. That's what they're expecting.
Yeah, so to answer a few points that you made, so for the guy above me, when we look at what you just said, you're conflating leadership roles as a category. You're trying to conflate leadership roles with how the person might treat their boss or how they might act when it comes to them getting raised.
No, that's
Because
not what I was doing at all, actually.
okay, well, I'll come back to
You
that in a
made
sec.
the claim that, quote, women are just more annoying,
Yes,
which
but hold
I
on.
said, actually, the numbers say that that is not the case. In fact, that women are much more likely to provide cohesion in work environments.
Okay, hold on. But one more thing to Professor, I believe that's how you say your name. You said you're an academic. What proof would I have to provide for my own anecdotal testimony? Again, I'm saying
Well,
from what I've
anecdotes mean
seen.
fuck all.
Well, I
Because
mean my
you
own
just called
experience.
an entire group of workers annoying. You just made the assumption that, well, maybe women are annoying
Well, when I
without
used
any
to,
evidence. So just because you met an annoying woman once at your job,
well, a
that's
few.
anecdotal.
Right,
I mean,
and
and my exes,
back
but
to what you
again,
previously said, though. I think it stands to reason that if women in leadership roles do well, that women who are in lower roles, like entry level roles, have the potential to do well. In addition, right? They carry over. It's not like they're completely different things. And we see, and I just pulled this up just to verify. It says female, but whatever. Women CEOs frequently outperform their male counterparts in profitability and shareholder returns, with some studies showing as much as a 384% return compared to 261% return over 10 years. Right. So, like you even see in leadership roles, they do much better.
Also, women are much more likely to be used as scapegoats for those leadership roles. If we actually look at
If
things like the
yeah,
glass cliff theory, we can look at like Yahoo and I believe it was eBay, that when they were about to experience bankruptcy, what did they do? They swapped out their CEO for a woman and let her take the blame.
well, do you think anyone could have taken the blame and they just paid her enough to take it? Again, it's correlation to
I
causation.
don't
What's the
think
proof?
I feel as though you have a comprehension issue if that's the
He
takeaway from what I
does.
said.
He
Well, no, I'm just
does.
saying. Okay, even the possibility. Again, that doesn't prove that there's a whole societal conspiracy against women. You're just saying some
No
people have
one said
acted
it
in
was a
bad faith.
societal conspiracy theory. Now you're just conflating arguments.
Well, again, you just said
keep
that
tapping,
the
guys.
society pays women less when it comes to jobs, around like 20% less. And I'm trying to say, okay, can we show that every single person that's their intention? You're just giving out some bland examples that are anecdotal, saying we see this here, we see
Oh
this
no,
here.
none of the examples that I've given have been anecdotal. The most
Wait,
recent data that we have from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, again, not anecdotal, provides the snapshot that, again, of gender wage gaps. And every single year, women who are full-time wage and salary workers have had median like weekly earnings that were both like less than men, entirely like accounting for
Do you
the
have,
hours that they worked
Ominous,
and the wage that they're
stop.
in.
Stop with
can you
whatever the
mute your
fuck you're
phone or
doing.
something?
Yeah, I don't know
Not to
what
mention
you're
the
doing,
fact
but
that we see this
stop.
across
Sorry.
racial lines as well, with black earners earning less than white earners, with native Hawaiian and Pacific Islanders earning less than their black earners, with indigenous people earning less than that, and Latin American earners earning even less. So we see it across not only gender lines but racial lines.
yes.
The only outlier here is Asian Americans, who earn like a little bit more than white Americans do, but not by much.
Well, hold on. So why, when you look at that, if they felt that they were being underpaid, why wouldn't they go work in a different job that wouldn't underpay them?
Job stability is a huge problem in this country. People aren't just going to pick up and leave because they're
Yeah, people don't have the
realizing
luxury
they're
to
not
do
being
that.
paid. You do understand that, right? A lot of people don't have the opportunity to go find a new job, especially when President Trump promised a whole bunch of new jobs and we're still not seeing this massive amount that he promised.
Well, to
Well,
People in
so
the
is
consider
people in the request box. We're gonna get to you. We just need to get to 50,000 likes, or of course 2
50,000. Yeah.
galaxies, or 20 on the pay links. All right. So if you're
Wait,
in the
but to
request
the
box, you can
question,
tap quicker.
I
What?
feel when we break it down mathematically, yeah, I feel like you're just living very bougie when you look at that. If you feel that the jobs in America can't sustain you life to live, that means you'd have a roof over your head, you would have
You're not
clothes.
you're no better than a victim blamer, honestly. These
How am
people,
I
you
victim
think they're
blaming?
living bougie when
that's
they are
quite literally
working
what you're
two
doing.
jobs and their partner is also working another job?
Wait, why isn't he
Like,
working two jobs?
who knows? I don't know people's business, but let's say their rent went up. Let's say they had a medical emergency that now they are paying off a medical bill because their insurance didn't cover all of it. I don't know. I personally, I went and got a second job because my mother passed away and I had some debt I had to deal with. So I went and got a second job at one point in my life. So again, I don't know what other people's lives are like, but I know, and we can look at the statistics, that people are working more than one job or they are staying in a job that they are probably feeling underappreciated in because there's nothing out there for them at that moment.
Okay, so to continue with that point again, you can go live in Memphis. You don't have to live in that apartment. Why do you have to keep paying rent for that apartment? You can go live somewhere else.
Yes. Why don't you just pay a lot of money that you're already not making to up and move?
No, it's very simple. You get in a car and you drive. How is that up a bunch of money?
Oh my God, are you really this naive?
You really think that's all it takes?
Do you live in your mother's basement? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? You've never had to pay for anything in your entire life? Do you know
I
how
live
much
in my own apartment.
how much did it cost for you to move into that apartment?
Around like total $6,000 for me. But again, besides the point, I get what you're saying, but like, you can just take everything eventually over time, hire a mover, live in a lower income area, keep working harder. Again, when you look at it, you can live in America, you're just not going to like it.
In a low income area. So
What's
now
the issue with that?
people, you don't deserve that community that you live in. You don't deserve that home and those neighbors and that security. You should go live somewhere else where it's cheaper, away from your family and friends, away from that possible feeling of security in your own home, maybe even into a different school district. Now your kids have to start over too. Are you for real?
Well, hold on. Why can't you live with your family?
No. We're not going to hold on for a moment. Let's break this down into smaller numbers, because clearly trying to do any modicum of critical thinking is far beyond your capacity right now. So let's say you make, on average, $100 a month, right? $100 a month. And in total, your bills and everything else come out to approximately, we'll say, $75, $80. We'll round up and we'll say $80. So you're left with $20 a month every month. You with me so far?
Yeah, save the money.
Now your argument here is, well, get in your car and just drive down the road and live somewhere else. Well, all right. Well, it's going to cost me $400 to move into this other place down here. Well, now I have to, according to you, just get up and move down there. This isn't accounting for the fact that $20 that I have every month has got to cover emergencies, has got to cover any kind of like possible family issues. It's got to cover everything else. So my guy, zoom the fuck out for a moment.
Okay, let's break it down real quick. So, what do you define as a necessity for someone to live? Because you don't need half the stuff that America has.
Again, you don't want my definition on this matter.
I would appreciate it, because I believe you're very insightful. So
you don't, because I am. No, you don't want my definition on what is a necessity.
Listen, man, I already know where you're going with this. You're going to say people budget horribly, people spend stuff when they shouldn't, blah, 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 right? Two things can be true at the same time. Can people budget more in certain situations? Sure, but that's not the point. The point is that even when people are just getting the bare necessities, they are barely getting by often. And in cases like this, you can't just get up and move, even if you're just simply buying the bare necessities, like rent, food, transportation.
Okay, that's a very good point. So I appreciate what Doug said. And again, why can't you live with other people then? If you follow us too much, why can't you put the money with other people that you have live with you? Like family members or friends?
But then you people like MAGA want to talk trash about Hispanics who are doing just that.
I support that, actually. No, that's actually great of them. I like that.
No, you don't, because you were just talking trash about immigrants not too long ago, saying you tried to.
No, I actually like immigrants. I'm saying that it's very impressive how they can come, speak no English, well, very little, and still somehow get jobs and support themselves compared to Americans. What are they doing right? I'm saying we should learn from them.
Wait, you're acting like they're living in luxury compared to U.S.-born citizens. That's not the case whatsoever.
Well, then how come their kids are? Look at people who come from countries like India or Pakistan. How come they didn't go to the top universities?
Well, you're talking about two different things here, right? You're talking about people that have gotten educations where they've gotten jobs that pay well versus people that are coming here in their 20s and 30s after the point where they can get that education. Those are two different things.
Well, the beauty about America, it takes only about like 2 generations to get your foot in, because you get in, you work, your kid goes to college, or your kid goes to school, then like either college or community college, gets a degree in like anything, then they can use that money to keep working, saving, repeat that, and you keep getting better and better and save more money, and eventually you bring yourself out of poverty. I believe it's a beautiful thing that you can make yourself
Where's
out
your
of
source
poverty.
on that? Where is your source on that shows that in 2 generations this can all happen?
Oh no, I didn't say it objectively. I'm saying this is like an example. I'm not saying that this is truth or you should follow it. I'm saying it as an example.
Things you have no idea about. Okay.
Well, no, I'm saying
you're just throwing out a pipe dream. Essentially, that's a pipe dream.
how that pipe dream. Hold on. So
Well,
is
It is
schooling
because
free?
not everybody has that ability to come here, and in 2 generations, their kids are doing great. A lot of those kids that you're talking about also become money earners, so they go get their own jobs as well. They also end up taking care of family members, be it like a family member with a disability, an elderly family member. So again, tell me how they're going to be able to go to some big university and make it big and get that job when you have no idea what's going to happen to those people.
Yeah, I'll tell you how. So it's very simple. So the kid, he just focuses on school. Let's say he wants to be an electrician. He keeps studying. He gets a degree, let's say like UMD, goes to the University of Miami. He studies electrical engineering. He comes out with a degree. He gets hired. He stays with his family. He stays until
What's the
he's
cost
20.
of tuition for the University of Miami?
I'm not sure because I didn't go to college. But okay, let's say even then he gives a community college.
No. What's the tuition? What's the tuition for the University of Miami?
You want me to go check real quick?
Yes.
sure.
Give me one moment. One moment.
In the meantime, guys, tap
Cost of living, too.
tap and share. Click the red follow button on the top left. Follow Nicholas. Follow Alex. Show him a little bit of support. Make sure you guys sub to me on the tube, and people watching me in the tube. The comments are wild over there. It's weird. There is somebody who's seemingly obsessed with me in the YouTube comments who's criticizing me for being obsessed with Trump.
Okay, I got it. So it's about
We're almost at
$60,000,
it,
but again,
guys.
student loans. So $60,000 if you take in student loans, but again, you can live with your parents, continue saving money.
What if they don't live near their parents and they don't want to commute? What about apartments? What about food? What about electricity?
Well,
The
you can
cost
live
of
on
living
campus.
needs to be factored in too.
Okay, then how about this? They go to community college. You're right. So what if they go to
All
community
right, we
college
hit
and become, like, a
50K.
journey
See ya.
electrician?
Well, again, depending on what state you are in.
Nah, we hit 50K. I didn't
I've
even
never
want
wanted to shove someone in a locker. So
I didn't
apparently.
even want to give him the courtesy of saying, "Hey, we reached a kick goal. See ya. Have a good rest of your day." Didn't even want to give that courtesy. It was just I just couldn't. I can't hear the voice anymore. It was the voice, really, that was getting to me more than anything. I'm just being honest
It's this
here.
cocky, condescending 20-something-year-old
I'm just
voice,
being
right? It's a
honest here.
20-something-year-old voice who's never had to sweat a day in their life. They exist. I know they exist, and that's perfectly fine. But don't go around telling other people about how to handle their struggles when you've never lived through it. It's weird.
James in YouTube.
More men could be lonelier.
James in YouTube, you need to get a life, man. You are leaving a comment like one after another, and you're just obsessed. You need to relax, man. Okay, James in the tube. We're gonna get to. I'm starting to get a little bit more comments than I did when I first started a couple weeks ago, so it's starting to gain a small bit of traction. All right, let's get to the next guest. I'm just going to choose a random one. We have a few in there. Keep tapping and sharing. Hey, Tom, are you opposition?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
cool. How old are you?
50.
Alrighty. What's in your mind?
Well, I'm married. I have kids. Kid on the way. I'm definitely not an incel, and I support Trump.
Okay. You voted for Trump. How do you think he's doing?
Still be an incel.
Yeah. How do you think
I
he's
think
doing
he's doing
so
pretty
far?
good right now.
Okay.
Most
What
part,
specifically?
most of the stuff good.
Okay. What would be an example of something you feel like he's doing great at?
Tax policy, inflation's pretty under control.
The inflation's not any lower than it was when he came into office.
I said it's under control.
All right. What the tax policy? How's that benefiting Americans as a whole?
No tax on tips. Higher child tax credit.
Listen. So when it comes to tax cuts, do you think that the majority of tax cuts should go to people who are making millions and billions of dollars who wouldn't really necessarily benefit from a tax cut? Or do you think it might be better if it went to lower and middle class?
But they don't. They don't. The child tax credit doesn't.
I'm not talking about the child tax.
I'm
just talking about tax cuts in general, right? Like,
Yeah,
don't you think it may be more
they
benefit?
don't. They benefit everyone.
But if the majority of the tax cuts go towards people who are making, what is it, 700,000 plus, whatever the top 1% is, doesn't it?
There's no such thing as a tax cut for a specific group. Every
But
tax cuts are for everyone.
you do understand as well that like tips are still being taxed, right?
Yeah, I do. I know that.
Right.
But there's no
But they're
tax on up to a certain amount of tips. Is that bad?
they're still
It's
being taxed by the state,
Is
county,
that
Social
is that bad?
Security.
it
They're not
it's
taxed
not
by my
for,
state.
first of all, it's not that it's bad, and I want to say that
Hold,
the tax
can I
cuts
correct? Can I take a list? They're not taxed by my state, so you can try that again.
Phenomenal.
okay, well, that's
Your
going to be state by
state,
state.
great, and it's
Okay,
also only temporary.
No,
right.
it's not
So
temporary. I live in the state of Nevada. We don't have state tax.
No, the
Thank
no
no,
you.
no, no,
tax on
no.
tips is only
Yeah.
I don't
temporary.
really give a fuck if it's temporary or not.
But then Trump doesn't really care about the middle and lower class than the average American if it's
Okay. I mean,
temporary.
you can
But
think that.
but hold on though. If the tax cuts for those making 700,000 plus are permanent, but the tax cuts for people like you and me and Thickless and Alex are temporary,
All
where
tax
does it?
cuts are the same for everyone.
I
Everyone
don't
can
know why
benefit
you
from a
keep
tax
saying
cut
that. Why does it
because
seem
it's
like he?
true.
Okay, great. Does it seem like maybe he cares more about the top 1% or the average American, given one is
No,
permanent, one is
he cares
temporary?
about all Americans
But then why didn't he
equally.
make
Well,
why didn't he
that's
make it?
patently false.
Why didn't
It's
he
not
make it
patently false.
permanent?
Prove it.
Why didn't hold on? Why didn't he make permanent tax cuts for us then?
Trump can't make permanent tax. He's not allowed to make a tax permanent.
I'm aware, but why didn't
So why'd you ask
Republicans
that
create
question
that?
then if you're aware?
Listen, you know what I am talking about.
No, I'm
Why
not.
did
You asked a question. I
shut the
answered it.
fuck up? Why didn't they create a tax policy that had that? Right? He's the one who ran on it. That's what I'm talking about. I understand he doesn't create policy, but at the end of the day, he still signs it. Okay? So why didn't they do that? If Republicans, I'll say that. Why didn't Republicans do that for you?
Why didn't Democrats?
That's not answering my question.
Okay, well, why didn't Democrats?
Answer my
I don't know.
question.
You
What?
need to ask them.
But then it
You need to
seems
ask
like they
them.
don't care about the average American. Then it
You can
seems like
believe
they.
that. Nothing I say is going to change your mind of that because you got
Okay, you're
this
not taking
bias,
in what I'm
anyways.
saying. If one group that makes loads
The
and
I
loads and
am. You
loads
just
of
want to play a
money,
game, and I don't play that
if
game.
one group that makes loads and loads of money get permanent tax breaks, and one group that doesn't make much money gets temporary, which one do you think they care about more?
That doesn't have anything to do with caring about anything
Which
more.
one do
That's
you
your
think they care
opinion.
about more? There's a reason why you're afraid to answer
They
the
care about all
question.
Americans. I don't
Well,
play
they
your game. I don't play your
I
division
know you don't
game.
want to play it because you know if you answer it, it's not going to be good for you.
No, I
So
did
you're going to have
answer
to give
it.
me some bullshit answer just to skirt
I
away
don't
from
have to give you a
this.
bullshit answer. I
Well, you
told
are.
you
That's what
he
you're
cares
doing
for all
right now.
Americans the same.
Okay, great. So we'll acknowledge that he cares more about the rich then, since those are permanent tax
Well, we
cuts.
can't
Great.
acknowledge it. That's what you
Well,
said, not me.
okay,
Well,
great, because you don't
if
want to
that's the
answer it.
case, if
Go ahead.
that's the case,
No, I
why
did
is he
answer it.
like? If that's the case, why is he tearing out pieces of like history in this country that are specific to groups of Americans?
He's not.
Why
Oh, you
is
mean like
why is
wait,
the Trump administration
wait? You mean like
actively
Democrats tore
removing
down statues?
pieces
Is that what
of
you're
them?
talking about?
Well, no, I don't consider traitors to this country to be Americans. They were
Oh,
traitors.
they are American. Your definite.
They were
Your feelings don't
traitors.
matter. Your
No,
feelings
they were
don't change
traitors to this
definitions of
country.
No,
words.
by definition of what they
They
did, they're
created
traitors.
a separate country.
Your feelings don't make words
This is on
different.
my
Their meaning
feelings.
doesn't
This is
change.
historical fact. They were traitors to this country. They created a
They were
second country
Americans.
because they did not want to be part of the United States of
They were
America.
Americans,
Well,
so
So
that
they
by
were not.
definition wouldn't make them a traitor, though, like by the legal definition.
I don't know the legal definition off the top of my
But
head.
by the legal definition, that's what it would be, though.
So he uses words that
But
he
they're
doesn't
still
understand.
Americans.
No, they weren't.
Oh, okay. Sure, they weren't.
They weren't.
They were.
They weren't. But actively removing.
How are they not? Were they born in the
actively
United States of
removing-
America?
Actively
Were they
removing
born in the United
memorials
States? Were
and
they born?
pieces of history that are only really seeming to be
Were they born in
with
the US?
regard to one group of people makes it seem to me as though that Trump doesn't actually feel the same about all Americans. Otherwise, we wouldn't be removing pieces of black history from this country actively.
Are you there? And guys, we can get to a new guest that's 75,000
What you
likes.
feel convenient about. So I mean that's if that's how you want to view the world, that's up to you.
That's
I
not
mean,
a
it's what the Trump
view.
administration is doing.
It's true.
He's not.
Literally removing. Yes,
Yes.
he did. He just removed the scorched back, which is a photograph.
The what?
He just removed it. You've never
The
heard.
what?
You didn't hear of this? It's called the scorched back. It
I
was
don't really
up
give a
in the
fuck. I have no
National Park.
idea. Who cares if we
What's
removed
the
it?
point of having a
So you're just a
conversation every time you get
racist.
cornered?
I'm a
You say
racist.
hold on. What's
do
the
you
point
know?
of
How do you
having
know
a
I'm a racist?
What's the point of having a conversation if every time you get cornered, you refuse to answer a question, you say you
I
don't
am
care,
answering.
or
You
you
just
say
don't
that's
like my
not true?
answer.
Well, you give
Your
answers
answers
that
are all
aren't direct to
fifis
it.
anyways, Paul.
Hey, how
They're
am
all
I a
fi-
racist? How am I racist? She said I was a
I was
racist.
trying to explain to you a piece. It was a photograph. It's a piece of art that was taken of an enslaved
I don't know what
man's.
it is. How does it make me racist?
Well, because you
I
just
have no
cut
idea what it is.
off
How does it make me
again. Why do you keep
racist?
cutting everybody off? Because
Because
you
you're
said I don't want
stupid.
to hear it. Because
Because
you
you're
said I don't
stupid.
want to hear it.
Oh, well, then fuck off.
Yeah,
It's really
okay,
that
that's
simple, Tom.
fine.
Do,
But
Fuck
you're
off.
do,
stupid.
hey,
She's
No,
a
hey,
fuck
You
off,
stupid
can
bitch.
Tom.
I don't really
literally
care.
take
She's
your
an ignorant
tiny
cunt.
calf muscles and your receding 50-year-old
wonderful.
hairline, and you can
There's
kick
no
rocks.
receding
Then why are
hairline
you
here.
here? Oh, trust me,
Mm,
I bet there is. You sound low
Yeah,
T
you
to me.
can bet all you want. You'll never
Low
know.
T, low T. I'm surprised you were able to have another kid with all that
Yeah, I'm
tiny
surprised.
hair.
I'm
I,
surprised
I
too.
do want to make it clear you called her a C word, so it doesn't seem like you really
Yeah,
respect
she is.
women
She's
for
a stupid bitch.
Cool,
She deserves what
wonderful,
she gets.
great. Hey, you know that True Social? You know that True Social tweet that he had the other day in the video?
I have no idea what Truth Social is. Never visited it
Yes, you
once.
do. Don't
Of
stop
course you do.
lying.
I don't.
Stop
I
lying. So
don't.
stop
Liars just
lying.
There's no
Stop
lies.
lying
I
to me.
don't.
Okay, great. Nobody believes you.
I
So you
don't.
know the one that had Obama and his wife pictured as monkeys? What were your thoughts on
Oh,
that?
you talk about the video that came out last year? Yeah, that's someone else.
The
Yeah.
one that
What about
came
it?
out yesterday or like 2 days ago.
The
Nicholas, you
video
got
has been around for a while.
the one that was posted yesterday.
It wasn't posted yesterday. It was posted a couple days ago, and
You got a violation.
So he knew about. Oh, whoever. I didn't report him. I can let you call me all kinds of names, darling. Your
Both
shriveled up, sad face isn't gonna mess with me.
both Thickless and him got a violation. I don't know what Thickless got one for.
Because he told them to F. But I feel like it
Oh,
was in regard to him calling me all kinds of lovely
yeah,
names
yeah.
that men who are threatened by women calling them out typically do. So
I mean, that guy was
maybe
frustrating. He just
the
couldn't
N-word.
answer a goddamn question. Sorry, Thick. I don't know why you got one. I mean, you didn't really say anything all that bad. Nothing. You said much worse than Hef stayed up here. Guys, if you're enjoying live, click the red follow button on the top left. Make sure you send in a heart me. Give myself a follow. Follow Professor Alex. Show her a little bit of support, guys. She's only at 14. She should be well
Thanks,
above that.
Mom.
Help me reach a gift goal, and my pay links are in the bio. Make sure you all sub to me on the tube, and everyone on the tube watching. Hello, I'm a liberal incel. Nice to meet you. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the live. I don't know. That's what they seem to be calling me over there. I don't check the
I
comments
know
there
it's
too
so
much
funny.
yet.
All they really
But
can do is just make up names.
What's going on, guys?
They can't come up with a source.
what's up, Tony? I think we spoke before I recognize you. How old are you?
31.
All right, what's up?
Why are MAGAs incels? A bunch of incels.
It's just a conversation starter, man. It's just a conversation starter. But
No. Probably not. I mean, like, they're probably not incels.
They're not.
I think many of them are. I think many of
Actually,
them
they are.
They are?
I think many of them
Incels
have.
do tend to lean far right. They do.
Incels sound to the far right. I mean, like, when you think of, like, incels, you're thinking about people who can't get laid, right?
No.
Well,
not
it's
necessarily.
it's that paired with having negative views towards women and hatred towards women. So it's not just that can't get laid, but it's having it's involuntary celibacy
Right.
with having hatred towards women, like blaming them for that.
I mean, I think the name's just pretty straightforward. They just basically can't get laid. They're just involuntarily celibate.
That's because they took that word from a queer woman who was using it as a way to talk about and form a group, and they took it. And yes, you're right, it does mean involuntarily celibate, but instead of accepting the responsibility that they're not getting any, they blame women for it. And also Chads, apparently, too. So they do throw a little bit of a few men under their hatred column, but it's mostly women, and they attack them too. And they plan out possible mass events. Sometimes they get caught.
Sure, but like if you basically can't get laid, you're probably either socially awkward or you're just physically unattractive. Correct? That's probably
Okay,
the
but
leading
again,
reason.
it's paired with having a hatred towards women, so it's not just you can't get laid.
Yeah, but it's because they can't. It starts off with them not being able to get laid, right? So in other words,
With
they
a
can't get laid.
hatred towards women. I don't know why you keep
Quiet,
not.
shh, quiet, Doug. You got to quiet down. Use your no voice, all right? Listen, like the reason why they hate women is because they can't get laid.
So why is it okay to threaten women and talk about unaliving them
I'm
if
not
they just
saying it's okay, but it starts because of the fact that they can't get laid, right?
We've already established this like a few
Okay.
times. What you're not
So I mean,
accepting what
there
Doug
there
is
are
saying
people,
about them
right?
blaming women for that.
But people will find a way to blame everybody for everything that's their fault. In other words, they can't take personal responsibility, correct?
Like
So in
y'all
other
blame
words,
us
instead of
sometimes.
taking personal responsibility, right? They'll blame other people, including women. They'll blame like the government. They'll blame other Chads, which is what Doug is saying. They'll blame other people. They don't know how to take personal responsibility, correct?
Sure.
Okay. So which side talks about personal responsibility? Left or right?
I don't know.
Which makes it
Who you
its
talk?
mantra.
You guys seem to blame a lot of people for your problems: immigrants, trans people, people that are taking advantage of the government. Apparently, you guys seem to blame a lot of them.
Sure, but like which side talks about personal responsibility? If a guy can't get laid and starts
I don't care
blaming
what
other
side
people, he
talks about
talks
it. I care
about it.
about actions. Actions speak louder than words.
Okay, so you're for personal responsibility, right? That mantra.
It's very context dependent.
I mean, if the guy can't get laid, he basically it should be his problem. He basically should like fix himself, try to figure out how to better himself, as opposed to blaming society. Correct?
Tony, why don't you go talk to your male counterparts then? Because clearly it's not getting through to them that maybe stop being an ass, be nice, clean yourself up,
Yeah,
maybe be
personal
polite and
responsibility.
adequate.
We agree. Personal responsibility, right? These
Then
guys
tell
got to
them
clean
that.
themselves up,
Then
right?
go tell them that. I don't need to hear it.
I
They
mean,
need to.
if they're MAGA, that's pretty much what they'll hear all the time. They basically say, stop blaming other people, right? Stop relying on people and like fix yourself up, right?
But then
So
they
like,
vote against they vote for certain policies that are going to affect women because they hate women. It all comes back to
well,
hating us.
I mean, no, it starts off because of the fact that they can't get laid. It's not like they're against abortion and then suddenly they just can't get laid. It's the other way around, right? That's why that's why the name itself is led with involuntary celibate. They can't get laid, right?
Because of their behaviors. And again, what you seem to not understand is they're not over here, like you said, yes, they're not taking personal responsibility for that, but they're also involved in a party that will sort of, get them interested. Oh, if I vote here, I could see abortion banned in my state.
Yeah,
And they
but like,
like that. They want women to suffer. They talk about it all the time.
so, for example, if we were to take a look at dating apps, we do know that like there's a lot of empirical like evidence out there that basically a few men get most of the matches because they physically look good, as an example, correct?
Sure.
Can you provide? I don't have a source in front of me, so
Okay,
you.
have you
It's
heard
true.
about
It's
this?
true. Yeah, just go ahead. Go ahead. Get your point.
So that is true, right? So in other words, improving yourself is say improving your physicality, right? Get shredded and jacked like Doug, right? Be like Doug, right? Just look like a Chad of sorts. So which side promotes body positivity?
People on the left.
Okay. And which side talks about not taking personal responsibility? Right. So my thinking is that these incels that tend to be right wing, maybe, I don't know, they hate women. It's because of the fact that you can't get laid. They don't want to take personal responsibility. They don't want to look like Doug over here. They don't want to work out and get strong. They don't want to work on themselves. And I don't think and I think that as a result, they're going to start blaming other people in society and everything else. Actually, I personally don't think it's a left and right issue, to be quite frank. I think they just have issues, right? So I do think that saying that these guys are incels, it's not a MAGA issue. I think it's just that they just got some issues, right? They're just boys. They don't socialize. Men don't entirely socialize. It's a bigger problem, but it has nothing to do with them being right wing. Maybe they're women hating, but they're also just world hating. They just hate their life. These guys just hate their lives. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
All right. I'm just saying I can make the argument on the left easily, but I'm not. That's why I bring it up.
Well, we're not saying it's not present on the left, it's not present in independence. We are saying that, but we are also saying that they do lean to the right because of the things that the right stands for, like anti-LGBTQIA, anti-feminist.
I mean,
right?
I think
they do not like feminism at all.
yeah, but I mean, I think some of these guys are just like trying to like they're attention seeking as well, right? Like they don't like a lot of them are like what are these like look maxers that are going out and they're like anti JD Vance and stuff like that. I mean, where is like that Vlad what's his name, Kovicular, the guy? I'm not sure if you guys have seen him. He's a look maxer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like dumping on Trump and everything like that. He like hopes that he would go down, but where does he come from? He comes from a place of insecurity, right? Some of these boys.
Sure.
So, you know what I mean? Like it can go either way, one way or another, what their views are. But he also says things that are arguably, you know, pretty anti-woman as well. But he's anti-Trumps. These are like there's a lot of involuntary celibates who are just not socializing, right? So like maybe they'll have extreme views, maybe they'll seem vague. But look, I'm saying the point is you can literally argue either way, and these guys are just basically attention seeking. They'll say things that are inflammatory. They may come off as sexist, but it has nothing to do with MAGA. It has nothing to do with the left. It's just they got some issues. And I can easily make the argument it's a left-wing thing, which is why I brought that up.
Okay.
All right. Body positivity, not taking personal responsibility, etc. All right. All right, well, fun combo, guys.
Why did you keep bringing up personal responsibility and equating it to the left? I'm just curious. Because that seems like, I think he wanted to have an A-B. I think he wanted to have an A-B conversation.
I was trying to block him for the last 60 seconds, but unfortunately I cannot block him from my thing. So I had to mod my other account back up, and by the time I did that, he was about to leave anyways. Yeah, David, we got to change the background. I have zero fucking energy or willingness to talk about, like, specifically, like, them taking this literally. Like, I just have no desire to talk about are they actually incels or not. It was literally just meant to, like, start a conversation. Like, it wasn't meant to be taken literally. We're gonna have to change the background. Like, that was not... Kristen, I like it when they don't take the background literally. I like it that it brings people up. I just don't want to talk about whether they're literally incels or not. I just don't care on it. Like, that last conversation was the most boring conversation I've had in my life. I did not want that. What's up, TikToker?
Comprehension skills are not very good in this country. We know that.
What's up, TikToker?
That would be like a writing problem. But what's up?
It's not a writing problem. It's just a different problem.
Well, yeah. If you don't want to talk about incels, just don't use the word incel.
It's a different prompt problem. All right. Anyways, what's up?
What's up? 1 second.
How am I running, Matthew, if I'm literally here streaming? What's up?
All right. That all for you, sir? Bye.
Is he at work?
Yeah.
He's at work. Don't get fired.
Where are you at? Fucking working at Taco Bell?
I'm at the Circle K, bro. Working.
All right, what's up?
Yeah, so as a Circle K employee and a member of Incels for Love, we're not MAGA, bro.
What do you mean?
Incels for Love, like we're woman positive, LGBTQ accepting, non-racist incels.
You're LGBTQ.
We just don't get play.
You're LGBTQ accepting?
Incel, yeah. We just don't get play.
You're LGBTQ accepting?
Yeah.
Then why did you vote for Trump?
I didn't. I'm saying us incels aren't MAGA.
All right, cool. All right, let's get to next. Go focus on your Circle K job. Get a promotion.
There we go. What's up, guys? Sorry for the backlash, host. I just had to finally get up here. You know, it's been a while. So I'm assuming we're all.
We spoke before?
No, I've just been in the request for a while. 200 views. Right. I thought might as well give it a try. Never seen you before. I'm assuming we're all pro-ICE, anti-immigration here. Yes, no.
Did you vote for Trump?
Yes.
Okay. How old are you?
21.
Okay.
Vanderbilt alumni.
Okay. Why are you pro-ICE?
Pro-ICE because immigration is a net negative to this country. Any efforts to stop immigration is something I would be in support of.
Why is immigration a net negative?
Wage depression, increased native unemployment, increased costs via bypass, remittances, the healthcare strain, education strain, the social cohesion decays.
One at a time.
Okay, sure.
What was the first thing that you mentioned?
Wage depression.
Okay, can you show that to be the case?
Yeah, so George Borjas finds that with a percentile point increase in the share of immigrant workers,
I don't want you to cite.
actually,
I don't want you to talk about a random person that says it. I want you to show the data.
Okay, yeah, sure. Source is going to be the short-run impacts of immigration on native workers, evidence from the U.S. construction sector, Pereira and Zach Rutledge, in collaboration with UCLA. And it shows that for the percentage point increase in the share of immigrant workers, it reduces annual earnings of U.S.-born workers by at least 3.7%, all the way up to 7.3%.
And this is just with construction.
No, this is for all jobs.
Where is this? What's the source?
The short-run impacts of immigration on native workers, evidence from the U.S. construction sector. Now that one highlights.
Wait, hold on. The short-run impacts on what is it again?
Impacts of immigration on native workers, evidence from the U.S. construction sector.
All right, 1 second.
And I can pull it up on my end too. I just know it by name. Yeah, and if you need another source to show that it's not just construction, I can also provide that.
Okay, where is this? This is just some sort of article written by somebody.
It's not an article. It's peer reviewed. It's not an article, and it also
has short run impacts of immigration on native workers, a sectoral approach from Pierre Merrill and Zachariah Rutledge.
Yeah.
From 2018, December 26th.
Not 26, May 2nd, 2018, but yeah.
Why does it say December 26th on my own?
I don't know. I mean...
Is this from Gifford.UC Davis?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see over here. Let's scroll down.
And
where specifically in it? So where specifically in it does it say that?
The abstract. You can read it. And if you don't want to read the abstract and want to go actually right to where it says that, it's where they're citing the CARD and Boris data that measured the unemployment rate in natives.
What page is it on? This thing is 50 pages long.
The abstract is on page 1. Now where it's actually showcasing the data, that's going to be on 12, 13, 14, 15. It's going to be on pretty much all the pages after 5. And it's not an article. I think some people don't know what an article is, but that's okay.
Evidence of negative short-run impact.
Yeah. I can also show other sources if needed. And if you need one that ends with .gov or something to make yourself feel better, or org, I can provide that too. Yeah. I just don't know why anyone would think it's the case that wages would go up if you're bringing in a surplus of people and applying a downward pressure on wages. It seems like a misunderstanding.
Let me read this. You keep talking. It's hard for me to read when you're talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm used to multitasking. Go ahead.
Okay. Earnings of sectors are generally negative, but not always statistically significant. Okay. It says it's not always statistically significant. Effects on the native employment rate are negative and significant across all 6 sectors. Okay, and so what data are they using though? Where is it that they're citing all of these all these charts from?
All the charts?
Mm-hmm.
The actual data?
Yeah, the actual data itself. Yeah.
Well, if you scroll down to references right here, it will tell you. That's on page 16.
I don't know if we have the same thing pulled up, man. My page 16 just shows some sort of statistics. It doesn't have any abstract, or it doesn't have
Okay,
any.
well, just scroll down until you see references, and then you'll be good to go. I just want to know why you think it would ever be the case. Because I'm assuming you believe in, like, supply and demand, right?
Is that the only source that you have? Because usually...
No, I have like 40 more.
Okay, because I also have sources that
By
counter
who?
what you say,
By
that
who?
while in the short run, in the short term, you could see that effect, but the long-term gains outweigh that.
Yeah, ma'am, by who?
From places like the wages of, like actual Center for Immigration Studies. So
Oh, okay, yeah,
they
but who's the writer?
Stephen Camarada, who
Oh,
received his
wait, Stephen
PhD in
Camarada, the
policy.
guy who got blown the fuck out by George Borjas and hasn't made an immigration paper since? Yeah, you can just go search up Kumada Borjas debate. He got blown the fuck out. And he's never written about immigration ever again. Wrote,
Kamada?
sorry. After that.
How do you spell his last name?
Kamada?
Yeah.
He also goes by Daniel Card. That's a pseudonym. So you can just search up Daniel Card.
But no, I'm asking you because you're saying Kamada and I'm saying Camarota. Sorry, I was mispronouncing it.
Okay, yeah,
So
fair
you
enough.
said a completely different name than I did.
Well, Kamada got blown the fuck out. You can send
He's
your
not
source, though, and I'll read it real quick.
Kamada.
Well, Kamada did get blown the fuck out.
That's
Kamada
not his
Card.
name. So you might
Well,
be
then we're
thinking of somebody
referencing to...
else.
Yeah, so what's the source? And I'll go read it, and I'll go blow it the fuck out. So just provide your source.
Okay. It's, like I said, it's Camarota, Camarota, Wages of Immigration, the Effect of Low-Skilled Labor Market. Now, this is an older study, so I can find something more
of
recent.
low-skill immigration from January 1st, 1998.
Yeah, that's why I said it's kind of old, so I can find something more up to date.
Yeah, my study, yeah, the one I just gave directly references this. But regardless, I'll just go read it real quick and do my own debunk of it.
So are you going to call them up and tell them to redact that? Because it's still, you can still read it.
Well, the
Usually
Center for Immigration. Wait, so you wanna cite the Center of Immigration Studies and say that they need to redact what's wrong?
Go ahead and read it. Go ahead and
No,
read
so
it.
I'm
Go ahead and
telling
read
you
it.
is
Go ahead and read it.
if you're saying it's been debunked, why is it not redacted?
Okay, well, actually, so I have a study from CIS, the Center for Immigration
Just go
Studies,
ahead
as
and
you
read
just
what she
said.
gave you, man. Just go ahead and read what she gave you.
Yeah, I have already.
You read it in those 2 seconds.
I've already read it before.
No, you didn't know about it before.
I promise you I have.
You didn't know about it when she mentioned it.
Yes, I have.
But you didn't even know his name.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot his name. I've read most immigration studies. That's what most of my literature is about. That aside, I can just show that it mischaracterizes Borjas in like broad literature, right? Like in the entire study. And if it's the case that you're going to reference CIS, right? I have a study from CIS that's 20 years older that says you're wrong. And that's Immigration and the American Worker, a review of the academic literature, April 9th, 2013, 14 years after what you just provided from the Center for Immigration Studies. So if you're going to use it, the Center for Immigration Studies, and say like they should redact it if it's wrong, it's a case that it's already been proven wrong by the CIS. Like, what are we doing here?
Guys, we can move on to a new one at 80,000 likes, okay?
Why hasn't it been redacted? That's what I'm asking, because one classic example of work that has been redacted is like Wakefield. When he was shown to have improper methodology, financial bias, they took it away so you couldn't read it or cite it anymore. That's why I'm asking. I could still cite this.
Okay, and I can cite something from the Center for Immigration Studies that's 14 years later, after the fact, that says everything that was said previously is wrong.
That's why I said I could provide more recent ones.
Okay,
well, I don't
sure.
know why you're getting so like. Ugh, I was just talking about.
Well, no, if it's a
Why
case
hasn't
that you
it
can
been
provide,
if it's incorrect, why is it still being referenced? That's all I want to know.
well, you're the one who referenced it, and you're incorrect. That's why.
Other people can still reference it though. Like that's my whole point. Is if it's been proven wrong, why is it still up?
Because it's in the benefit of the people who are pro-immigration to leave it up and confuse people, obviously.
Now we've got some kind of cabal happening where they're leaving things, misinformation.
Of course capitalists do that. Of course the capitalists do that. Are you going to really argue that it's the case that capitalists or people in positions of power do not intentionally confuse people to, like, for some reason not benefit themselves? Weren't you guys just arguing
how do we know
about,
that your data?
you
How do we know that your data
know,
was?
like
How
the
do we know?
elite
How
and
do we know?
tax
How do we know?
cuts?
How do we know? How do we know that your data isn't meant to confuse people? And Tammy, thank you so much for that gift.
Because no one can debunk it.
But that doesn't mean that has nothing to do with what you just said.
If you can't debunk it, it's the case that it's true.
It is the case that it's true. Are you trying to copy Parker's language? Anyways,
Parker got blown the fuck out.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure he did.
Yeah, he did, because he can't answer any actual questions, just like you can.
Okay, so let me speak. You've been trying to speak this entire time. Okay. There is opposing data to what you said between the 2000 and 2019.
Showcase it.
But let me speak. I know you do this to make yourself feel better because you don't love yourself otherwise. I get it. But between the year 2000 and 2019, immigration had a positive impact, showing 1.7 to 2.6%. On the wages of less educated Native workers due to Native immigrants.
What's the name of the source?
I'm just showing you. This is from Fred, from the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis.
Federal Reserve Banking?
No, not Federal Reserve Banking, or Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis.
Bank of St. Louis, and what's the name? Go on.
Yeah, so it's give me 1 second here. Let me pull back up. This is wage increase for what is it? Wage increase for citizens on from Native immigrants.
From Native immigrants?
And so we got that, and then we also have the CBO report projects that immigration surge will also increase.
Can you bring it up?
Between the year 2000 and 2019. They saw between a 1.7 and a 2.6% increase on the wages.
Okay, let's see here. Because I'm not seeing this when I look it up. Can you bring it up on the big screen?
Not only that, but we saw from the CBO as well that the GDP, we saw a report from them that an immigration surge will increase total GDP by 8.9 trillion over the 2024.
That's
just by the CBO. I'm just going by the CBO.
Well, you're not referencing it because you're not bringing it up.
I'm just going by the CBO by 8.9 trillion.
Wait, why can't you tell me?
By the 8.9 trillion. Let me speak.
Why won't you reference what you're saying?
Let me speak. God damn it. And you just got kicked anyways. I'm going to continue to speak, okay? From the CBO report projects that immigration surge will increase total nomination GDP, and thank you, Tammy, nominal GDP by 8.9 trillion over the 2024 to the 2034 period and boost total wages paid each year, reaching roughly 3% higher by 2034. And we also see immigrants are 80% more. 80% more likely to start a business than native-born citizens are, contributing to job growth. We also see that immigrants account for roughly a quarter of all U.S. innovation output, even though there are about 16% of them, so they would be disproportionately represented there.
Card in 2005 wrote, economists, pretty much the summary was, economists don't tend to find that immigrants are causing a sizable decrease in wages and employment, and it might actually raise wages and lower prices as well, which is Ottaviano and Perry, 2008, 2010.
But the
I thought we
ironic
were
part
doing.
is he
I
wouldn't.
thought that was going interesting. I was like, oh, research, oh, studies. This isn't my field, but hey. And then it just devolved into capitalists lie.
But the thing is, I'm sure he necessarily wouldn't
Yay.
be against U.S.-born citizens just reproducing more, leading to the same amount, right? Because if it's the case that having that many more immigrants would lead to that happening, generally people on
Mhm.
the right aren't against reproduction, right? So I'm sure he wouldn't be against having just more U.S.-born citizens here for the same amount.
Mhm.
So I
It
mean,
might also, because there was another paper, I just lost it, dang it, but there was another paper that was discussing the aspect of it could also draw, like if you could see a change in wages from the business's end, right? Like these workers are going to work there at a certain wage because that's what they need. And if you're paying lower wages, raise the wages then. Why aren't they mad about companies and businesses and factories and corporations? Why aren't they mad at them for essentially outsourcing labor with, asking for better wages? I don't understand that aspect either. We're going to put all the blame on immigrants, but we're not going to hold any of the corporations accountable? I don't know.
what's
I
up,
just think
Leroy?
that's
Oh, what's up, man?
Hey, how old are you?
29. No, I'm
Cool.
30. I turned 30 yesterday.
Oh, cool. Happy
Forgot I had
belated
birthday.
birthday. How old are you?
Thank you so much. Yeah, 30 now.
Oh, I mean, I don't know why I said again. So you voted for Trump?
No, I didn't vote.
Okay. What did you come up here for?
Yeah, I just wanted to weigh into what the last guest was saying. I mean, let's be honest. It basically boils down that, when they say they don't want immigrants in the United States, they mean that they don't want brown people here coming to the United States. That's what it really boils down to.
Oftentimes.
Yeah, and and I agree with that. I mean, obviously, what's the problem?
What's the problem? What with people, like quote unquote brown
Well, I'm
people
a
coming
white
here?
nationalist. I'm a white national. I want the United States to be a white ethno state the way it used to be for the better
Gotcha.
part of its 250
wait.
years existence.
Well,
How was it a white ethno state when we shipped over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Africans for enslaving? I don't
Well, they
understand.
didn't have. Yeah,
Black
they
people were
were.
here too, and indigenous people were also here too.
Yeah, but they weren't citizens, right?
Indigenous people aren't citizens?
They weren't. No. 1790 Immigration Naturalization Act. White men of good character are eligible for American citizenship, right?
So Trump should definitely lose his citizenship. He's not a very good guy.
all right. Listen, I'm not
But
going to
that's what we're
platform. I'm
going.
not
That's
going
a
to platform
weird.
a white. I'm not going to platform a
Yeah, and
self-admitted
please, yeah.
white
We'll win any.
nationalist.
No, we don't know Yahtzees. Thanks.
He was about to say it will win anyways.
Yeah, as
I'm not going to platform him.
that's thanks. Yeah, that was just gonna devolve into you possibly getting in trouble because someone
It
slurs
wasn't
on
going to
your
be.
live.
It wasn't going to be worth it. No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Woof, that was something.
All right, guys, we're we're looking for opposition. Okay, if you vote for Trump, they lost the last two times, right? If you vote for Trump, hit the request button there at the bottom.
Oh boy.
Why the age question on the tube you ask is because by TikTok terms of service, gotta ask it. Hey, and Todd, if you feel like that I can't debate, why don't you come on out, Todd? But I have a feeling you're just going to hide in the comments. So if you feel like I can't, just come on up, buddy.
I'm actually gonna go. I didn't
Okay,
sleep well last night.
you're good. No worries.
But have a good night, everybody.
All right, appreciate having you up. Take care, okay?
I hope
All right. Like this, we're finally getting a bit more commenters. Todd, you're welcome to come on up. That sounds like an excuse, buddy. I haven't kicked anybody in 2 seconds except for a self-admitted white nationalist. Every other guest has been up here for a good 10, 15 minutes. So if you feel like you can do better in a debate, come on up. But you're going to come up with another excuse. You're going to say it's too late. You're going to say it's working. You're working. You're going to say you're on family. You're going to come up with some other excuse, I'm sure. But let's hear it. Let's hear what your next excuse is going to be. I don't. I mean, listen. I tend to have a moderate kit goal in terms of kit likes. I can always make it longer, I suppose. The get. I mean, my viewers typically want more guests. Like they typically want more guests in a given live rather than super long form conversations. I'm always fine changing it. I'm fine. There's like yesterday, I had a kit goal of like 50K likes when we're at like 5 or something, whatever it was. So I'm fine having longer form conversations. I don't really mind either way. There's benefits to both. Benefits to both. Yeah, right. There are some conversations where they do get incredibly insufferable to where like I don't want to necessarily have them up here for 20 or 30 minutes because I get bored of them. But sometimes there are really good conversations where I would like to have them up for a while. It really just depends. How many genders? Enough genders to piss you off, buddy. Whatever the number is that's going to piss you off, that's how many genders there are. Nobody wants to give you their phone number. Well, here's the deal, buddy. You can come up on TikTok. I don't need your phone number, and I don't give a shit about your phone number. If you really think I care about having your phone number and doing something with it, I think you need to think twice, man. I don't really give a crap about it. But look, that's yet another excuse. Todd, you have made excuse after excuse after excuse. Oh, yeah. Ren, I'm going to be getting a new flag tomorrow. I'm going to put it up back over there, and I'm going to shift this one a little bit further back so people can see it slightly more. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to add character to my room, so to speak. I like it. I do have a couple early morning clients tomorrow, guys. And I think I'll be done at 8 in the morning tomorrow. I have a few clients early in the morning, so I'll be done at 8. And I'll be home very shortly afterwards. So I will. I don't want to promise, but I'll more than likely be live at like 8:15, 8:30 tomorrow morning Eastern time. So whatever time that is by you, I should be live tomorrow. But again, I'll let you guys know in Discord and the bulletin board on TikTok. You guys are wondering if Liam got a bed frame yet? Make sure you guys all subscribe to me on the tube, okay? Yeah, it's nice. This is, I think, the first live where I've had a good total amount of views there. I mean, granted, I just started streaming there consistently, at least. I think the first live I had was a couple weeks ago on the tube. But I've only really consistently been doing it for the last, like, week and a half, I would say. So it's actually nice. I'd imagine within the next handful of lives, I could break 1,000 total views. That'd be great. What are you saying? 196. Oh, I started working out again, up to 196. I'm actually very close to you. What's up, Cats? I'm actually very close to you. I'm coming in at 190. So I lost a lot of weight for some of you guys might know, but a couple months ago I lost a lot of weight in a very short period of time. I would say in a matter of like 2 months or less, I lost near 40 pounds. And since mid-November, I've gained a little over half that back. I'd say 2/3 of that back, maybe something like that. I don't know, 3/5. I don't know, something like that. I've gained back, but I don't know if I want to quite get back to the weight I was at. I weighed a bit. I felt it. Quit drinking. No, I actually haven't drank in 7, 8 years, whatever it was. Not that. I know. You're close though. I initially lost a lot of weight in a less than 2 month period because of stuff related to drinking, but not alcohol itself, but other things that I can't say on TikTok. And then I've gained it back since stopping that stuff, of course. 350 lean. I did get my peanut butter spoon. It's actually right over here. It's actually really nice. It's a long spoon. I can put it into the peanut butter container without getting any on my finger. Look at that. It still sticks out. That's pretty good, huh? This way I don't have to go deep in, because when it starts getting shallow and there's a little peanut butter left, I used to have to go like real deep in there to get all over my knuckles and stuff. Yeah, no, that was a great suggestion by Chris. Booger sugar? Similar, but no. I don't know, Fawcett. Like, nobody likes you. And like, I literally mean nobody, including your family. Passenger Princess, in the tube, I definitely agree with you for sure. By the way, just want to acknowledge what you said there. Yeah, I don't think anybody in the comment section likes Fawcett. Gardening before lifting, is that what caused me to gain weight? No, I don't particularly like gardening all that much. It makes me too tired. Makes me too groggy and tired. I don't really like it. If I do it at night, I wake up and I'm so fucking groggy. It just makes it not worth it, to be honest. The Addy. What about it? I guess that would counteract it. I don't really have access to it. But I probably shouldn't have access to it. I would abuse it. There's no way I would be able to get a script of Addy and be able to use it responsibly. Like, I just wouldn't. Like, within 3 days, it would be going up my nose. I would use it responsibly for 1 day. The second day, I'd probably slightly use more. And then the third day, it would be going on my nose. Progesterone and estradiol. Stupid dog barking out. That dog barks all the time. Did you guys hear that barking? That dog non-stop barks. I love dogs. I love dogs. I love cats. But goddamn, this dog is annoying. I mean, like, it really is. He begs and no one lets him up. Oh, Fawcett. Yeah, I know. That's part of the reason why I don't want to let him up. Oh, you guys can't even hear it, huh? The noise canceling? I love it. This is a good mic, right? I will show you how good it is. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to turn it back on afterwards. Ready? Here, input. Let's change it to the laptop's microphone. All right, so right now I'm on the laptop's microphone. Right? You guys all hear it. It probably sounds worse, I'd imagine. Hey, Chaos, yeah, whatever you need. There's other things that I need that if I don't take, I'll be insufferable, so I'm right there with you. It's just not gardening. No, this shouldn't be better. This one shouldn't be better. I'm currently using my... No, this shouldn't be better. If this sounds better, that's the problem. This shouldn't sound better. Yeah, I was gonna say. But I'm gonna change it back. You ready? I'm gonna change it to the... Okay, now I'm back on this. This thing right here. So this one should sound better. It's louder but has background noise. Yeah, this should be sounding clear and more crisp. But if I go back to the other one, hold on. Laptop, now you can probably hear the dog barking. Well, it's not barking now, of course. The moment I turn it on, it stops barking. Super crisp, love it. Of course, the moment I turn it, the dog stops barking. Bark again! Bark! The one and only time I want this fucking dog to bark, it doesn't want to bark. Alright, well anyways, you guys get the point. Let's change it back. It really shines, though, that when, yes, there's background noise, and two, I have a guest. That's when this thing really shines. Because when things are silent and I don't have somebody else talking, yeah, like the microphone on a laptop is fine. It works. But the problem is when I have another guest or I have background noise. That's the issue. That's the issue. It's barking again. Are you fucking kidding me? All right, I'm gonna stop switching it. It's fucking bullshit. Oh, you heard it when a noise canceling was on? All right. That was annoying. Your prescribed perk 10 milligram. Ooh, that would be also something that I would highly, highly abuse. You're prescribed 10 milligrams every 4 hours. What are you getting? Like 30 a month? Yeah, I would take that entire prescription bottle in a matter of a day or two. In my own recovery, yeah, was on Oxy for a bit, yeah. And so I'm not offering advice. I'm just saying what I would do. I'm just saying if I had access to it and I wasn't trying to stay away from that stuff, yeah, I would be taking a crap load of it. I would absolutely be taking easy in one sitting 100 milligrams plus. But I used to go to like AA, NA meetings, just 12-step meetings in general, but I've kind of strayed away from them. I don't really like the total abstinence-based approach. And in AA/NA, whatever you want to call it, did work really well for me for a long period of time. But I think part of the issue is number one, it preaches abstinence-based when I don't think that works necessarily for everyone. I think for some people it can. I think for others it can't. And I think it causes an issue when someone quote unquote relapses, that they get this idea in their head that like they're just going to go off the cliff if they do it. And in some cases you might naturally, but I think if you push it into somebody's head, as 12-step meetings do over and over again, that if you go back out, you're not going to be able to control it. You're going to go off the deep end. It's going to progress. I think people become sort of, I think it's sort of like, what's the word? I forget what the term is, but like I think it ends up being true, right? Harm reduction, I think. I mean, in general, self-fulfilling prophecy. Thank you. That's what I meant to say. Thank you. I've been losing my words lately. Yeah, I think it ends up becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. But yeah, I think in general the data shows that harm reduction works for most people. Like if we look at the overall like data as a whole, harm reduction is better. However, it is going to be individually based. So I think for a small percent of the population, complete abstinence absolutely can work, and I think it's totally fine. And I think if you can do it and it doesn't cause issues in your life, that you have this all or nothing mentality, I think that's great. I think part of the issue is like, for example, I'm prescribed. I can't say the word on TikTok, but SUBOXONE for opiate use disorder, and like I need it. Like there's no way I can be without it, because if I wasn't using it, I would 100% like want to be using other stuff. Yeah, for me, Paige, it works really, really well. Jesse, I'm sorry this conversation annoys you, man. Yeah, it really helps me. Well, that's what I'm saying, deflating. Like it helps me knowing that if I were to use other things I shouldn't be using in that category of substances, that like I wouldn't be able to feel it because I'm on this medication. So like I wouldn't be able to feel it, which is a good deterrent, right? Knowing that like if I came across it, what's the point? It's not going to do anything. Also, secondly, for me, taking it every day gives me a slight mood lift. It isn't at all like when I was taking the other stuff, of course, but it's a very slight, mild mood lift that it gives me. So it helps me in that sense as well. But so for me, it works. But anyways, the point of why I'm mentioning it is that 12-step meetings aren't necessarily like so fond of that. Like when I went to AA meetings, I didn't mention I was on that medication because I was at that time also. I had to keep it to myself because I knew I would get a negative reaction for most people. Oh, Will, I used that for a while too. You spelled it wrong, but without the E. I use that as well. Which is wild that that is legal, by the way. Or not that it's wild that that is legal, Will. It's wild that you can get it so easily. I'm a proponent of most substances being at least decriminalized, many cases legalized. I do have it deflating. It's in my cabinet over there, actually. But yeah, Will, there was a period of time where I used that for a couple months, and the withdrawals for that are wild. I had to go to the ER because of those withdrawals. I was afraid I was going to have a seizure, and I was very close to it. That's a wild substance that, up until very recently, you were able to get at supplement stores, which is crazy. You can still get it very easily online. You just can't get it at like supplement stores anymore. Yeah, you don't want to drink on that. They're very similar substances, the alcohol and the thing that you mentioned. They're very, very similar, and you don't want to drink on it. You were overprescribed and hooked. Yeah, that can get you hooked real quickly. Be red, real quickly. Do you have the paper version? Yeah, Paige. And I don't put it under my tongue though. I put it in my gums because it what. So you're like per the like like the paper thing that you get when you get a medication, that like folded up paper that when you unfold it is like this big. So for that medication that I take, Paige, it says that you can take it sublingually. So I can never say that, sublingually, which is under the tongue. But you can also take it. I don't know how to pronounce it. Buccally, which is in the gums. I take it that way because when I take it under the tongue, it builds up spit, and for like 20 minutes, I just have to sit there with spit in my mouth and just not talk, and it's really inconvenient. But when I put it in my gums up here, I can still talk and go about my day. The thing with my dad is kept the pain away, but moreover, his chronic depression disappeared. Yeah, so it's actually really interesting. So number one, even people that don't have opiate use disorder, it actually can be used. It actually can be prescribed in many cases for pain because it actually is a very strong medication for that. But two, funny enough, or whatever enough, that medication also acts on the, what is it? The kappa opiate receptor, I believe it is. It's an antagonist on that. And it's thought to be that is some of the antidepressant properties. Because that medication acts on the mu opiate receptor as an agonist and an antagonist on the kappa opiate receptor. And when the kappa opiate receptor is agonized, it can cause depression, but this causes it antagonizes it, which is, yeah, it's just thought to be part of the reason why it has like antidepressant properties. You take it sublingually, best pain med, but keep me going for that's fine. Yeah, most people take it under their tongue, Last Phoenix. I mean, that's the way it's typically told to be taken, but I just put it in my gums. There's actually a slightly higher bioavailability when you take it in the gums as opposed to under the tongue. Probably not significant enough for somebody who's been on it for a while, but yeah. That's how a lot of people get started, Pish. And then at least when it comes to people getting addicted to it. Yeah, no, I think it's good to be open about that stuff. I mean, I've had my struggles. I mean, I've had my struggles. Well, I mean, I've been doing these streams for years. I've had my struggles as recently as like a handful of months ago. So people at the time didn't really know that I was doing all that stuff. At least most people didn't. It was starting to become a little more obvious a little later on, but no, but that's my followers saw it as I was going through it and after the fact too. The withdrawals were really bad though this time because I've gone through withdrawals from those types of substances many times before, more times than I can count. And it's funny because the first time I ever went through withdrawals from that type of substance, while it sucked, I would say within 3 or 4 days I was good to go again. I was fine. No depression, no anxiety. I was on my feet, no pain. Like I was fine. And I was using a certain substance up the nose, high doses for months on end. And I was fine after like 4 days. And then this last time around, I was using for like 2 months. And like I was out of commission for almost 2 weeks stopping. Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's crazy how just being older, and I'm not even old, obviously. I'm 33. That's not old. Just being older, my ability to recover from those things is like really bad. Like literally 2 weeks. I mean, if you guys remember when I was going through that back in November, when I had to stop doing lives for a little bit, 2 months or 2 weeks, I couldn't go live because I like the first week I was in bed completely. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't do anything. I was as miserable as can be. And then the next week, I was able to get out of bed. I was able to start eating like light food, but I was in no position to like do this. Yeah, no, it gets worse every time. Yeah, Paige, I graduated to that pretty quickly. When I first started taking that type of substance, initially it was it's really tough because I can't say these names on TikTok, but Schmicodin, I'll say it like that. I was taking that, and I was taking that orally, of course, and I would take that here and there whenever I was able to get access to it. And I never got enough of that to go through withdrawals because the big V. I was never able to get enough of that to go through withdrawals because every time I would get access to it, it'd only be enough for a week at most, right? Of daily use or by daily use. And that wasn't enough to go through withdrawals. But when the first time I got access to Schmoxycontin, I had enough to last me near 3 months. And that was going up my nose. And that's the first time I got withdrawals. And yeah, it fucking sucked. It was bad. It was bad. But again, I was still back on my feet in like 4 days though, still. Oh, I know this sounds really bad, but I still will never forget the time that I used that substance up my nose for the first time. I know it's kind of sad, but like, I still can't think of much better feeling than that. I know how that sounds, but like, that might be one of the best feelings I've ever had. Not might, it is. I'd be lying if I said otherwise. So don't use substances, everyone, please. Like seriously, when they say that like you'll never be able to, I don't want to say you'll never feel normal again because that sounds really negative and bad, but like I'll never feel that way again. I will never ever feel that way again. And I just have to accept the fact that like the happiness I will have in sobriety is just not even remotely the same, but it's more stable, right? I'm not having these ups and downs and whatever. Because yeah, it feels amazing, but then you also have to deal with the low point of it, which sucks just as bad in the opposite direction. No, the euphoria was amazing. It sometimes pops into my head. It pops into my head randomly, thinking about the first time I used that substance in that manner. Like it'll just pop into my head just randomly, just going about my day, and like, yeah, it felt great. It was amazing. But if you think you won't be happy, so no, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of happiness in sobriety. There is. There's lots of great things that can happen that would never happen otherwise. So yeah, like I'm not trying to say that like sobriety is all shit because it is tough at first, but it is absolutely worth it in the long run. But yeah, chasing the dragon. That's where that saying comes from, I suppose, right? No, I know deflating, but part of the issues of sobriety, or part of the struggles of sobriety, and I think a lot of people deal with this, is like eventually I start like doing other things that aren't even remotely as bad, but like I still like I think just forever for the rest of my life, I'm always gonna have like something that I gravitate towards that I use to make me feel good that may not be the healthiest. I just think it's always going to be like that. Like I've gravitated towards other unhealthy habits to make myself feel better in sobriety. And again, yeah, it doesn't have remotely the same damage at all, but it's still part of things. Yeah, Tara, I mean, listen, I wish that was a thing that like kind of did it for me. Yeah, like caffeine, Maddie. Like I will never go a day without caffeine ever. It's not happening. Caffeine I will do or use it in that manner. But funny enough, Tara, what you mentioned that thing that you mentioned, funny enough, that is probably the only substance that I can think of that I have no issue using and then weeks later not using and not thinking about it. That is the only one. Any other substance I've ever tried, including caffeine, if I have it once, I will be having it the next day. Or if not, I will be thinking about it a lot the next day. But for some reason, gardening is not, I don't know, just doesn't do it for me. It doesn't scratch that itch. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'll do it on occasion. Like I'll do it on occasion if like I'm feeling very lazy and I want to lay in bed and watch like movies all night and eat junk food. Okay, I'll do it. But again, it sucks because then I wake up the next day really tired. I wake up really groggy. I sleep in a lot. I wake up tired and groggy. And it's like almost not really worth it, to be honest. Like tonight, for example, like I was thinking, gardening. Gardening. Like tonight, I was thinking of maybe doing it instead of doing live. Like it's either one or the other. I'm not gonna do that and live stream. Like it's one or the other because it makes me really introverted and quiet, and like I wouldn't want to live stream if I did that. So I was thinking of doing that instead, but then I was thinking, well, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna feel groggy, and then like the first half of the day, I'm not gonna want to do anything, or if I have to do something, I'm not gonna really want to do it. So I told myself, it's not really worth it. I'll just live stream instead. Yeah, it makes me so quiet. And that's why it always surprises me, like RTP, for example, like he'll do it before, like, so he says, like he'll do it before a live. Like, how on earth do you fucking live stream and debate with someone for hours on end under the influence of that? Like, that would be the last thing I want to do. Yeah, it makes me insanely quiet. It makes me awkwardly quiet. That's why I don't like doing it around people. Because people always want to, like, do like a sesh. And I'm like, no, I don't. Like, the moment, like, after 20 minutes, maybe the first 10, 20 minutes, I'll talk. But after that, like, I don't want to talk. Yeah, I'll just stare at the TV. I get awkwardly quiet. And if I'm over at someone's place or whatever, like, it'll be really awkward saying I have to go. Like, I wouldn't even know how to bring it up. That's how awkward it makes me. Like, I would overthink saying, like, hey, I gotta go. Like, it's just, yeah, that's Makes you talkative. I mean, that's great. It does that. If it made me talkative, it would be something I would do a lot more. And I suppose it's probably a good thing that it doesn't. The fact that it doesn't make me talkative is the reason why I don't really do it often. And that's why I use substances to begin with, because believe it or not, guys, I'm actually really introverted. For anybody that knows me in person, which is probably next to no one here, you guys know I'm like a pretty quiet guy in person. I'm not talkative like this. I'm not extroverted. I'm not generally a guy to start a conversation. I hate being around a lot of people. But that's why I use substances, is so I can be that type of person. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Alex, it all does the same thing to me. Or Alexandra, whatever your name is. Alexandra. It all does the same. It doesn't matter. Sativa, indica, this strain, that strain, it all feels the same to me. I'll be honest, I don't feel a single difference. And I had my card for years, so like I was able to try plenty different ones. It all feels the same to me. Every Virgo is an introvert. I am a Virgo. There is that. You're pretty introverted as well. If I'm on a substance, well, yeah, Nick, that's exactly like, and that's part of the reason why I don't drink. Not for that. It's just that my behavior gets really unpredictable, and like, yes, it makes me extroverted, but like, it's just my behavior gets really unpredictable, and then my ability to want to use another substance that pairs really well with that gets really high, and I don't want to use that other one. So that's why I don't really, not really, that's why I haven't drank in years. Yeah, so Amy, it used to, like when I was like a late teenager, it would. Like when I was a late teenager, it would. And not saying even later on it wouldn't. It's just that like my depression got a lot strong, like a lot more prevalent in life. And so like if I drank while being depressed, it wouldn't make me friendly and goofy and all of that. It would make me like exponentially more depressed. And that was really dangerous because I just wasn't sure what I was going to do with that deep depression. Yeah, B red. That was obviously the substance I was referring to, and like my propensity to want to do that. Normally, I don't think about it. Like I don't think about it at all. I really don't. But if I were to drink, I would obsess about doing it, and some way or another, I would find it. Even though where I live, I don't know anybody who has it. I never use that substance where I live now because I moved since I last used it. But I promise you, I would find a way. I would absolutely find a way. It is an amazing combo. It's an amazing combo. I don't know how I would, Lee. I don't know what my drunk mind would do, but I would find a way. I would think of like some random person that I met once that like I knew maybe was like into that sort of scene, that I would somehow, I don't know. I don't know what my drunk mind would do to find access to it, but I would find it. It does make for a great time, Heather. That's the problem. Yeah. It makes for a very, very great time. Logical, you're welcome to come up. We're not even remotely talking about that anymore, but you're welcome to come on up. Yeah, B red. I also haven't used that substance in a long time either. The last time I used that was probably the last time I drank, actually, or right around that time, coincidentally enough. That is the whole problem. Yeah. It's a very dangerous combo too. I wouldn't, not danger. Well, it is dangerous, but it's very unhealthy. Very, very bad for you combo. Not that any substance use is good for you, but like that combo together is really, really like damaging. Those two substances are. I mean, they pair. Yeah, they pair amazingly well. It's just that like they're very damaging paired. But yeah, I would say that's like 80% of the reason why I don't drink is because like I just will obsess about using that. And then like the remainder 20% is just because I just it's just not good for me, and it's just not something I really want to have in my life, really. Makes you super self-conscious? That's interesting, Paige. Because actually typically would do the opposite for most people. They are cousins. I mean, Tammy, that's like what it typically does. It typically makes people the opposite of self-conscious. Me and my friends make business plans. I would come up with the craziest things, as would most people, when I would use that combo. I don't know. I couldn't remember half the conversations I had. Um, I have like an entire ounce of that sitting in my cabinet, Heather, but I almost never use it. The thing with that, Heather, is I have to be in like the best mindset ever, and yeah, I know, Paige. People become really obnoxious when they take that. I know me for sure. It just makes you really arrogant. Anybody who's on that substance, it makes you incredibly arrogant and not condescending. Well, maybe a little condescending, but yeah, very arrogant, and like just like you think you're the best person ever. Very grandiose, I think would be the right word. Yeah, Heather, I have done that a couple times, and one of the really good experiences I had, the first hour really sucked. And like, yeah, it ended up being worth it, but that hour was really, really shitty. And I don't know, like I still battle with depression and mostly depression. And the issue is the moment I take that, I will start overthinking. Like even if I was in the best of a mindset beforehand, I will start overthinking, and it's going to cause me to have a bad trip, or at the very least for like an hour. So I don't know. I mean, it has its uses for sure, but yeah, yeah, Paige. That was part of the reason why I would do it. Yeah, I have to have a very specific situation where, yeah, for sure, Heather. HRT is my SS. All right. Yeah, I don't know, B-Red. I like maybe I would just need to experiment with that or something in like lower doses, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I have enough to like microdose. Like maybe I can do that, but like, and I know this isn't the point of microdosing, but like, I never really noticed a huge difference. I know you're not supposed to feel it, but like, I never did, and like, therefore, I never really noticed a difference. ECT was an option. That is an option for severe depression for sure. 3.5. That's a full on trip. That's enough for like an experienced person. An eighth, but that girl Molly because I'm wildly depressed for days afterwards. Yeah, it's probably not worth it. I've never done it before, surprisingly, out of all the stuff. Bupropion. I use bupropion. I'm on it, which is generic for Wellbutrin. My thoughts on that, B-Red. Yeah, I mean, listen, I've never used it. I'm for anything that helps people's mental health. If it helps your mental health, if it helps you have a better outlook on life, if it helps you go in a better direction in life, I'm all for it. I think I think we have our own agency, and I think we should be able to do what we want. And yeah, and I think different things work for different people. When it comes to recovery, I think again, abstinence works for some people, and I think some people it's probably better off that they do so. But I think for other people, yeah, maybe they do need something. Maybe a couple times a year taking that fungi could be helpful, or something similar to that, maybe, or chocolate ice cream, mint chocolate chip ice cream, right? Or other just whatever harm reduction methods. People are different, and whatever helps people have better mental health and puts them in better track in life, I think that's great. Oh yeah, Maddie. Yeah, you can't take them with SSRIs. You just don't feel it, right? Or it just heavily mitigates it. Yeah, B-Rad. I don't. Well, so here's the thing. I've tried what was supposed to be it. I don't think it was. I assumed it was something else because it didn't feel like how everybody described it felt. It was almost certainly something else. Yeah, Maddie, that's what I heard. It just doesn't. Same with SSRIs and the fungi or anything else that acts on that receptor. I'm pretty sure they don't really pair well together either. What for, Jacob? What are you trying to speak to? What I'm talking to right now, or what's up? Because I am probably wrapping this up relatively soon. It's kind of late. I gotta wake up in 8 hours. No, 7.5 hours. Meaning I should really get to bed pretty soon. Not a good idea to pair SSRIs and magic. You can get serotonin. Yeah. Covering bills with the first 5 people to message me with the word faith. Steven, I don't know about that. That sounds like a no. I wish they didn't allow us when I went to rehab because it was the hardest to quit. I've actually never had a problem quitting that, believe it or not. That was also okay. Yeah, that would be the second and only substance that I can think of that I've never had an issue really stopping. Nicotine. For some reason, I can pick it up, and I used to be so fun. For some reason, I can pick that up and use it for weeks or months on end, and more or less put it down without thinking much about it afterwards. Yeah, I don't know. But, well, don't be that jealous, Nick, because I have a complete lack of inability with any other substance to do that. Like, any other substance, I will use until, like, something in my life becomes not good. Whether it's my mental health crashing or something I'm losing in life or whatever. So, like, don't be that jealous. Alcohol has really, really dangerous withdrawals. Anything that acts on the GABA receptors has really dangerous withdrawals. So if we're talking about drinking, or we're talking about benzos, or BENZOSs, whatever. You guys know what I'm trying to say. What else? Mainly those two. There are other things that can, like, it's tough because I can't really say these names on TikTok. Yeah, I know I said those, Paige. I guess I can say it. Gabapentinoids, also, which are similar to BENZOSs, but not quite. An example of a gabapentinoid would be, again, I can't say it, but it's 3 initials of 3 letters. And I can't even say it. I mean, I probably can, but I don't want to chance it. It starts with a G, ends with a B, and there's an H in the middle. Gabapentin is an example of a gabapentinoid. No, not acid, no. Yeah, Caitlin, gabapentin is a type of gabapentinoid. Well, yeah, but except switch to H and B. Yeah. That's something that you wouldn't be able to just stop if you were physically addicted. That can cause really dangerous withdrawals. Gabapentin, not really. I mean, I guess if you were taking out like really, really high doses for a long time, it could, but that's not really common. Although, there's a substance that's similar to gabapentin that's stronger that you wouldn't necessarily want to stop cold turkey because that can also cause withdrawals. It's a prescription, but most people probably haven't heard of it. GHB, I've tried that a few times. Didn't know my ass from my elbow for hours. That's actually commonly used. Well, maybe not commonly as much anymore as the date grape substance. But typically it's other substances. It's not really that one much anymore. I've never used that one, Paige. Yeah, Booger Scotch, they prescribe that like very, very liberally, that medication. Like it's not even scheduled, actually, in most states. That substance is or that medication, I'll say, is actually really easy to get. And for most people, there's no recreational aspect to it, but for a small percent of people, there can be. Well, no, for that substance, deflating, for gabapentin, most states, that one's, I don't know what it is federally, but all I know is in that most states it's not scheduled, but there are some states in which it's a Schedule 4, 5, or whatever the last one is. Yeah, Caitlin, that medication can be prescribed for a lot of things off-label. It can be prescribed for anxiety off-label. It can be prescribed for depression off-label. On-label, I think the only use, if I'm not mistaken, is nerve pain. There may be one other use on-label. Maybe. But yeah, it can be prescribed for a lot of reasons off-label. Yeah, depression for sure. It's actually commonly used when people are going through opiate withdrawals. That medication, gabapentin, is actually commonly used for it. It actually works really well, at least in my experience. Yeah, Booger Scotch, you're right. It can be. Yeah, that too, Booger. Nerve pain and seizures. That's right. That was the one I was thinking of. Thank you, Chris. Believe it or not, that substance for me is actually like relatively recreational. And I know that sounds kind of wild for most people, but for me, it actually gives like pretty euphoric effects. And so like that's something I need to be weary of. Yeah, no, Nick, you're right. Chris just affirmed that or confirmed that. No, the one that we've been talking about, gabapentin. Yeah, gabapentin for sure. Yeah, it gives me euphoria. In higher doses, we're talking like 1,800 milligrams plus, I would say. 1,600 milligrams plus. But yeah, no, I found that out several months ago, actually. I didn't know that. I didn't know it did, because I had always used it the way it was supposed to. When it... Yes, Lyrica. That or less Chris. Yes, Chris. Lyrica, which is like the stronger version of it. That I also find to be extremely euphoric. That one. And that's basically just a stronger version of gabapentin. But yeah, no, gabapentin I've always been prescribed if I was going through OPIATES withdrawals. And it would work really well for it, but I would never take it past it. I'd only take it for those days and I was fine, and like I never really had a reason to take it otherwise. But I found out accidentally one time several months ago, because I continued to take it past when I was supposed to. And after I ended up being okay, I took a larger dose and like it made me feel really fucking good. You ever got oxys and I low-key felt amazing. Yeah, Izzy. That's what started this conversation. I was talking about that. Is this person supposed to... Did they make their account after me? Doug is a beta? Is that supposed to be like an account for me or something? College, we used to drink 8 ounces of Rodan. I'm gonna get that open. It's not that embarrassing, Pinch. All right, guys, I need to wrap this up, though. All right, as much as I love where this conversation deviated to, I really got to get to bed because I'm going to be tired in the morning. Plus, I need to go live tomorrow morning, and if I go to bed too late, guys, I'm going to be tired, and I'm not going to want to do this. So, let me get to bed. But it was nice to talk about this stuff. It's always nice to go off topic from like what we're talking about, and I don't mind talking about personal stuff. As you guys know, I sometimes have to talk about stuff that are too personal. So I've been told by people that know me in person. But if you guys enjoy the live, click the red follow button on the top left. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. Make sure you guys join Discord, please. The link is in my bio. Yeah, it was nice having you, Marley and Nick and David, all of you guys. It was great. But yeah, I'll see everybody tomorrow. And I think that's it. Okay. Oh, how many people were watching on YouTube? We've had 4 people watching this entire time on YouTube. I find that to be funny. All right, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Take care, okay? Bye, YouTube people. I don't know why you guys were watching for this long.